Now that DEI is dead, things are looking up. For me, dear President Trump, thank you for crushing the DEI movement. Legislatively, you went ham. Rhetorically, you put a stink on DEI that'll never wear off. And millions of Americans love you for it. Now that DEI is dead, my students in Baltimore have no choice but to bootstrap their way to success. No more gimmies, just e pluribus e num, all day. I remember the good old days when diversity efforts were handled with tact. I mean, they were practically invisible. My first job after college, I worked for a big insurance company in Boston, North American Security Life. It was the early 90s, and inside our sleek corporate offices, the company was whiter and straighter than a MAGA rally. But back then, America was so great, you didn't hear anyone whining about DEI. And anyway, my coworkers and I knew a meritocracy when we saw one. 27 years into teaching in Baltimore, I've had students named Tashira, and Dante. Sure, research shows that distinctively black names get fewer callbacks for job applications, but the parents of these children knew full well they could have named their kids Jane or Bob, so whose fault is that? A couple guys I see at the gym, one's a software engineer, the other a financial advisor, are mighty suspicious of Baltimore, particularly the city's poorest communities. Affluent suburbanites, they like to talk about the carjackers, squeegee boys, and welfare frauds ruining the city. If at all possible, they avoid Baltimore. I do wonder sometimes how these guys operate at work, who they hire, promote, mentor, who they network and share resources with, that kind of thing. Well, it's none of my business, and bottom line, I'm sure these guys know who's up to snuff and who isn't. Harlem Park, the neighborhood where my school is located, is admittedly pretty chewed up. It's a sweet hereafter of abandoned row homes, some boarded up, some gaping, whole blocks of them sometimes. Progressives assume decades of municipal neglect, disinvestment, displacement, social exclusion, and political indifference messed West Baltimore up. Well, I know a bunch of unpatriotic claptrap when I hear it. And anyway, nobody told poor folks living in degraded housing and distressed zip codes they had to stay there. Even the NEA scrapped funds for underserved communities, so you have to wonder, how under is the under in underserved? Maybe less is more. And by making blighted opportunity deserts like West Baltimore a regular thing in cities and towns across the nation, America has made inequity, if that's even what it really is, boring. Nobody thinks too much about the people struggling, trying to get ahead in West Baltimore, except, of course, the people struggling, trying to get ahead in West Baltimore. Are the odds stacked against kids in Harlem Park? Who can really say? If it was really that bad, probably someone would have fixed it by now. This is America, after all. Either way, I know you like long shots, Mr. President. Otherwise, you wouldn't have lost millions on casinos, steaks, hotels, vodka, and other stuff. Still, every so often, a student will ask if the vast decay surrounding our school is some kind of conspiracy, like maybe somebody is trying to stifle their prospects. Here, I redirect. Just because it looks like the end of the world outside doesn't mean you're not included. You are. Stay positive. Get your archaeologist on, I say. The neighborhood is rich with ruins. Then I sober students up with a hard truth. Hey, be glad the neighborhood hasn't gentrified. No telling where you'd be then. While DEI initiatives don't actually lower standards or give unearned privileges, they definitely change the look of the team. And not everyone vibes with change, because really, there are only so many opportunities to go around in this world. And personally, I don't like getting shortchanged or losing ground, or feeling like I could lose ground, especially when I'm not used to it. What's mine is mine, after all, or was, and is now again. In fact, sometimes I just want to scream, privilege is the party not everyone gets invited to, okay? But you can't say that, or I can't anyway. But you can, Mr. President. We're crazy for your crazy. We can't get enough. The malice, and pettiness, and bullying, and gibberish, it's magic. I even heard that by some anatomical quirk, your tongue lives in your sigmoid colon, springs up when you talk, then retracts again, which is pretty amazing. Anyhow, thank you, Mr. President, for making sure voices like mine aren't lost in the din. And most of all, thank you for showing Americans that discrimination and inequity ended so long ago, they're not even worth talking about. Let the cream rise to the top. Signed, Giddy again.